Hi everyone, it is September 10th, 2017, and I want to know what you think of this. Okay, this came in my email, and here's the title, Equifax Breach and You, What You Should Know. So this is from my bank, and this is what it says. You may have heard Equifax's announcement yesterday that their data was compromised. What does this mean for you? And what are things to consider? Montecito Bank and Trust is committed to helping you protect your personal information. We've compiled a FAQ to answer some key questions, including links to resources you might find helpful and courses of action the Federal Trade Commission has recommended to consumers. Okay, do you trust the Federal Trade Commission or do you trust your bank? You know how they're sending out all those letters these days that say what they share and what they don't share, and you know, if you don't like it, then you can leave the bank. Okay, in addition to reviewing our FAQ, you may want to consider checking to see if your own information may have been compromised, which you can quickly do here. Okay, so let's check it. Okay, so this is about, okay, let me make this page smaller and smaller. Cybersecurity incident and important consumer information. Okay, now, see if your personal information is potentially impacted. So how do you do that? Well, what do you think? You have to give them your social security number and whatever, and then they want you to enroll in this. Okay, regardless of whether your information may have been impacted, we will provide you the option to enroll in Trusted ID Premier. You will receive an enrollment date. You should return to this site and follow the How Do I Enroll instructions below on or after that date to continue the enrollment and activation process. The enrollment period ends on Tuesday, November 21st, 2017. So, isn't this ironic? This is so ironic that your information may have been breached, and if it wasn't, they will now have your information even more. You know, all your updates and everything, and they want you to enroll in with Equifax. Are they out of our minds? Are people really that gullible? Try not to say words like stupid or dumb. Anyway, thank you for allowing us this opportunity to assist you. It's all a scam. It's all a scam. Okay, well, then I have another story, okay? Very, very awkward situation. And I'll just tell you really quickly. Yesterday, at 5 o'clock in the morning, there was a giant frog in my bathroom. I didn't notice it at first. Then I saw it. I was going to try to catch it. It was huge. It was about as big as my hand, and it had that kind of salamander-looking, you know, it wasn't a green frog. It was more like a clear, I don't know, not quite clear, but kind of like it's in water all the time. Anyway, jumped on me and I screamed, and then it went behind the refrigerator, and then it gave me an uneasy feeling all day because it's in my house now, and I don't know if it'll come out or it's just gonna die in there or whatever. Anyway, so I felt so creepy about it in my little tiny space. So, let me just find, type in Orange Frogs, Hong Kong. Oh, maybe it was a warty newt. Oh no. Anyway, so then, okay, it wasn't any of these. Okay, so then, I did some things during the day, excuse me, and then I was walking down the hill. People don't know me, and I have some videos that show where I live on Llama Island. It's like a jungle. It's very tropical, kind of. And there's this path that I walk down that's just covered with trees and all this lush. It's a jungle. Anyway, I was walking down the path, and I didn't have a flashlight. It was late at night. And I almost stepped on this snake that was on the path. It heard my footsteps and then slithered into the grass. But anyway, there's snakes here. People see them often, but I haven't seen that many. Anyway, that was my second kind of creepy feeling of the day. And then I was on my way to this restaurant where a couple of restaurants were opening at the same time. And one was having a soft opening with free drinks and free food Friday and Saturday. Anyway, so I walked by this one. I saw one friend sitting at this table, and he said, "Come on, sit down with us." And I introduced myself to other people. And then I got a glass of wine. And the other people were getting loads of drinks. I didn't know them. They were getting loads of drinks. Then they go like, "Yeah, we've had about 6 drinks already." And then they left, and then some other people came, and they got drinks and everything. And then we walked over to the other place that was having a remodeling opening. And then I went back to the first place and took in the empty wine glass, and I put it on the counter. And the guy said, "No one paid at this table you were sitting at." And I was like, "Oh my gosh, what?" And he goes, "I don't expect you to pay." And I was just, I mean, can you imagine? There was like 2 people who had 6 drinks, other people who had drinks, another person came who had drinks, another person, and another person. And I didn't even know some of those people. 2 of those people I didn't know. Other people were, no, 3 people I didn't know. The other 3 were acquaintances that I do know. But this was just like, I felt, I mean, how could I explain such a thing? And everybody thought these drinks were free. So I gave him about Hong Kong $100. I mean, it's only like 12 US dollars, but I figured that covered mine, and put it in there. They had a donation box, you know. But I feel like I'm getting some messages according to my feelings about being here or doing what I'm doing, or something like something is jarring me. Do you think God speaks to us through animals, encounters, and situations like this? I don't know. Just kind of a creepy feeling. And I wanted to share that with you. Then the other thing I wanted to share is my experience at LAX, Los Angeles Airport. So, before these hurricanes or anything like that, you know, and we know that things, you know, like the law, they're clamping down on people. You have less freedoms. They have more of our information and can't hide anything anymore. That kind of thing, right? But anyway, at LAX, I just want to tell you what it's like there for me, having lived in Hong Kong, done a lot of traveling, going to lots of airports and everything. When you go to LAX, okay, I just want to show you this. Let me type this in, okay. It's 7:59 a.m. here, by the way, on Sunday morning. Los Angeles security. I should put LAX. Now I'm going to type in blue gloves. Okay, so see this. Well, this isn't exactly what I wanted to have come up, but I'm going to get rid of Los Angeles. But what I'm trying to say and tell you and convey is that when you go to LAX, they're shouting at you, for one thing. They're shouting at you, and this one lady, I was in line, you know, getting, you know, long line to go through the security check with the little x-ray machine and all that. And she's shouting, "The boss said move it, so move it." And they're like, "Get in this line, get in that line, get in." You know, it's just like, what is going on? They're so rude. And then there's a sign that says how to put, you know, put your computer in one bin, put your phones in another bin, put, you know, like separate everything. They want to know this. So I did that. And when I'm getting these things on the conveyor belt, this mean guy like this, he's really tall, and he goes in a mean voice, like, you know, denigrating voice. He goes, "What are you doing? Why are you doing that? Don't do that." Like, just like that, you know. It just made me feel so bad, and it was intimidating, okay. And then so I said, oh, I was just like following the signs. And so I put the phones back in my purse. I had about 3 phones with me because none of them really work. And that's another story, okay, about the phones. But so then I went through, and then they have the millimeter wave machine, right? Okay, so this is this the airport? It's like this. Is it the airport, or is it like prison? You know? It's so bizarre. So then I told the guy, he's like standing there like that, and I said, "Oh, by the way, I don't want to go through the scanner." And he said, "You know, it's going to take 15 minutes and blah, 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 blah." And then shouts, you know, "Female opt-out, pat down," that, you know, they announced to the world. Everyone else is just going through it and lifting up their arms, and no one cares. But, you know, not everyone believes that those scanners are safe, okay? So aren't we getting enough radiation and penetrating frequencies without just going through one of those machines that no one is really sure what it does in the long term, you know? So I didn't go through it, and this lady came, and she's very matter-of-fact police type woman. "Now I'm going to pat you down and use the back of my hands for here and do this," and, you know, she told me everything she's going to do, and then you just have to follow directions, put your arms out. I mean, you feel like a criminal. So in other places like Hong Kong, they're so polite. Very, very polite. But I've noticed that that's even changing in different parts of the world too. They're being a little more stern, or probably for the coming one world government. Okay, now I'm going to type in millimeter wave scanner health risks. And then all these people who work at the airports, they go, you know it's safe. It's safer than going through the metal detector. But is it? Okay, some people say it tears your DNA. Yet, you have to do it. So, you know, I'm thinking like, here's people just waiting in line to go in there. I'm thinking that the bigger cities are going to be, you know, just like the whole Walmart thing. And I mean, it could. You just don't know what's going to happen. Like airports, Walmart. And I have asked, in years past, I've asked people, if you are going on a trip and you go to the airport and they go, oh, wait a minute, you can't fly unless you get this chip in your hand. We're going to do it right now. Would you do it or would you not fly? And almost everyone that I talked to said, I would go. I would do it because I would have to go. And this is how they'll probably end up getting people to do it in these various ways. You know, not just for buying and selling, but for these impromptu moments, you know. See, millimeter wave technology. I don't know. So let's see what this guy has to say about it. See? Torn DNA. I don't really understand DNA either. And how it could tear DNA, because DNA is really small. You can't see it. Anyway, just sharing these thoughts with you, okay? In this life of ours. So, God bless everyone with the truth and the Holy Spirit. And, you know, I think that's what can mean the most to everyone, is their personal relationship with the Most High. You know, we live in a mystery. This is it. And the main thing is that this is the age of the mind and the brain. Like, I think it was Earl Nightingale, he said, this is the Psychozoic Era, the age of the mind. So we could say age of the mind, spirit, soul, because this is what we can't see, and this is what we're dealing with now. All these invisible things. So, signing off now. Have a great day. Be in tune with the truth frequency. And you know what Picasso said? He said, I don't seek, I find. So, find the Holy One for your life, okay? And all will be well. Then there's nothing to fear. You feel calm, and Jesus gives the peace that passes understanding. That's fantastic. And that's what everybody wants, really, right? Okay, God bless. Bye for now.